Many common errors or mistakes that you might find in your dataset are often made by those who enter the data. They might be unfamiliar with the software or technology, or they're just not paying attention. A common mistake is that a name or key phrase is misspelled. In that case, Excel might not link the entry to other important details as it should, or it might not find the entry in a search. For example, Jamie's spreadsheet tracks sales figures by region. Column C tracks the city in which each sale was made. If she types the city Chicago as the latest entry without the A or types it in the wrong column, Excel will ignore that entry when asked to summarize or total the sales results for that city. Entries can be misidentified during the data analysis process if they contain unnecessary characters. For example, Jamie types a dollar character before the numbers in her entries. These entries are considered text. Excel would not include those amounts in a number calculation. In a wider data analysis process, they might be ignored altogether. Remember, in Excel, a currency amount should always be typed as numbers in the cell first. Then you should apply the currency symbol or the comma separator using a number format. Unnecessary spaces before or after entries can also create difficulties. They don't stand out on screen in the same way as other text or number characters, but Excel is aware of them. For Excel, the word Chicago followed by a single space is different from Chicago typed without the space. For calculation and analysis purposes, it considers them to be two separate cities. Finally, an entry might be placed in the wrong column or under an incorrect heading in a spreadsheet. For example, Jamie might type an entry under the wrong heading. In her spreadsheet, the city name Chicago is entered in the sales price column, so that row item might be misclassified. Other examples of common errors or mistakes can be caused by an inconsistent layout or content. It's important that data is presented consistently throughout a worksheet so that it always remains accurate and reliable. Poor or inconsistent layouts can give rise to errors. When creating an Excel file, keep in mind the way in which information will be used. Like if a spreadsheet only has a single column for an address, this column then contains all the address elements like city, region, or area code. This means that it's difficult to break down these results separately by city or by region during data analysis because they're not in separate columns. Instead, you should format information like addresses across multiple columns so that it's easier to process and analyze the data. Abbreviations and acronyms can also generate errors in data analysis. It's usually better to include a full word or title instead of an abbreviation or acronym. In the following spreadsheet, there are multiple variations of common abbreviations like Mr., Miss, and Doctor. This will cause serious issues during data analysis. The best approach for data analysis is to standardize the approach for writing abbreviations, particularly for titles like these. Another important feature of data analysis is the ability to break down results and information by date or calendar interval. This means that dates must be entered in a particular way in a spreadsheet so that Excel recognizes them as calendar items. The component elements, like the month, day, and year, must be typed as numbers and separated by a forward slash or a dash. If you type dates with incorrect separator characters, then Excel won't interpret them as numbers. Instead, it processes them as text, so you won't be able to conduct time analysis of your data. A final common error to be aware of is duplicate information. Duplicate information in a data block distorts analysis results. Items can be counted multiple times and numeric results can be artificially inflated. Jamie might add sales figures from the previous week to the spreadsheet. If her colleague doesn't check for duplicate data, then those sales figures could be included in the results a second time. For example, if you're including dates in your spreadsheet, then sort the sheet in date order. This makes it easier to identify the time entries already added. Likewise, if you're including address data, then assign a different column to each element of an address. This helps others to identify entries by searching for house numbers, street names, or cities, like an entry for apartment 1236 on North Street, Miami.